the set. Can we please have quiet on the set?
It stinks.
Hello, everybody out there in TV land and movie land. Yours truly, Shawn Lucas, in the driver's seat. It Stinks, the only podcast where it can stink and you still can be relevant to this show. Great week for me. Very great week. Just wrapped up Bel-Air, episode 10, dropped this week of season 3. It was a very, very good episode. Very good season of Bel-Air. Gonna kind of recap all the way to episode 10. Get you ready for season 4 this summer when it comes out. That's the one thing about Bel-Air. They end so good, then they make you wait all the way till June, July before they start back over. So you have to wait a year to get that whole season back going. But you can understand why, because it's the focal point of Will and Carlton in the summertime. The whole show is built around them being in summer. The first season, Will in school. Then they built everything around what would Will do in the summer. So very good season of Bel-Air right here. Very great season Peacock has done. Another good reason I'm so excited. Guess what? Episode 1 of season 2, Tulsa King, dropped. So Tulsa King is getting ready to get back going. Big fan of Tulsa King right here on It Stinks podcast. Sylvester Stallone just does an outstanding job playing that role of the mafia, former mafia boss, now setting up shop in Tulsa. So we're going to be talking about that. Going to be talking about the Big Brother house. And I was just so ecstatic. I was so ecstatic when I found out that one of my favorite TV shows got picked up by Netflix to air season 1 and season 2 with the possibility of Netflix taking on a season 3. Of course, if you don't know what that show is, it was on Epix. It is Heels. Found out yesterday that Netflix picked it up to air season 1, season 2. So that is on Netflix. Definitely go check Heels out. Won't recap the whole season 1, season 2, but boy, do we have our fingers crossed to get a season 3. Because season 2, the last episode, the cliffhanger just left you sitting there saying, when can we get a season 3? Would have done a season 3 of Heels, but of course some things happened, got bought out by MGM, and also Heels was the last show to get cut that didn't make the list of everything that kind of transitioned either to MGM or Epix kind of kept it and kept it going on their basic channels, on their app. It was the last one. I mean, they said that it got to the final winching hours, if I could use a red zone for all my football fans terminology, the winching hours of we got to cut one more show. And everything had been cut, money-wise, budget-wise. Hills was looking to make a season 3, and right at the last minute, they had to exit. So many people like myself, when we found out, I was devastated. So devastated. If you never watch Heels, you have done yourself an injustice, especially if you're a fan of pro wrestling. That's what it's all about, pro wrestling. You've done yourself an injustice. So let's talk about Heels before we talk about Big Brother, Bel-Air, and Tulsa King episode 1. Don't forget, From is getting ready to drop. So we're going to be talking about that probably on next week's episode of It Stinks. Heels played on Epix. Found Heels on accident one night, just hanging up, watching some ball games. Couldn't go to sleep, strolling through the channels. Saw a promotional on the Prime of a show called Heels. Saw some guys locked up in a wrestling hole. I was thinking it was more like what I see on A&E, you know, the story of Roman Reigns, like the Heels of Roman Reigns. You know, they show Heels, Roman Reigns. They talked about that, the upbringing to get him to WWE. Thought it would be more of an old school documentary, maybe on some NWA territory stuff. So when I seen the guys, then I saw Stephen Amell, I'm like, well, it's got to be either a documentary, or could it be a movie like The Wrestler? I remember the movie The Wrestler. I watched it. Very good movie. Was something like that. So I didn't know. And after I watched the first episode, I stayed up the entire night. I don't think I went to sleep like maybe 9, 10 the next morning because I watched every single episode. And I was behind because season 2 was on the way. So Epics and Prime and all these apps, on Fire Stick, your Roku, on all your smart devices, Samsung, they were pushing the heels. They were pushing it. So I was like, I need to really watch. I got into it. I watched the first episode and I couldn't go to sleep because I had to watch episode 2. Then I just kept going and going and going till finally I just watched the whole season one night to the next morning. And within a matter of maybe a month, 2 months, season 2 came, and I was like, I couldn't wait for it. But it stars 2 guys who are wrestlers. I'm gonna give you a little back end synopsis of it, so you definitely can go check it out. It stars Stephen Amell, and I forgot the other guy's name. Just that quick was on the tip of my tongue. Will come back to me. But they are the sons of the famous legend, the Black Ace Jack Spade. They're his kids. He started a hometown wrestling promotion right there in Duffy, Georgia. Duffy's a small town. It's kind of like Cheers. Everybody knows you by your name. They know who you are. You grew up, you played football at the local high school, played baseball at the local high school, ran track, played basketball. If you was a hometown girl, you was a cheerleader. Small town vibe, small town feel. But on Saturday night, all these people in the community go to this old abandoned warehouse that they turn into the Duffy Sports Entertainment Arena, where they put on good old school wrestling. So we don't learn that much about the Spade brothers' dad till we get in the middle of the season of season 1. But you already can establish the champ is Jack Spade. He's the heel. The baby face is the younger son. Blonde hair, long hair, got a valet girl manager. When he comes out, the crowd goes crazy. Ricky Morton right there. If it was Ricky Morton, he'd be Ricky Morton of the Rock and Roll Express. And it goes off of that. And the older brother, who is kind of the one that they want to keep, he was told by his dad to keep the promotion going on. He's the one backstage doing all the producing. He's the heel champ. He keeps telling the baby brother, I'm going to put you over and give you the title and give you pretty much the keys to Duffy wrestling. You know what happens? The baby brother finally gets a chance. His big match to go over is tonight. He's going to be the champ. We're going to crown a new champ. The brother kind of feels in the ring that the crowd is not really behind him as he thought the babyface would get. So what does the brother do? Breaks his arm in the middle of the ring. He breaks his arm. If you hear some background noise over here at the castle, got a lot going on right now. So we're live, but a lot's going on right now during this time frame of Instincts. So back to what I was saying. The baby brother breaks his arm to save face. When the older brother breaks the baby brother's arm, when Stephen Amell breaks his baby brother's arm, Jack, he breaks down and cries. Not out of pain, but out of frustration because I'm supposed to win over. This was my night. And once again, you done what you did best. Win in the business for yourself and help yourself as a champ. So now I continue to go down this path. But the fans turn on him. Jack Spade felt that. He felt it. Ace, that's the name. Ace Spade. Jack and Ace Spade. Jack Spade felt that. That's why he broke Ace's arm. He knew that this was not the night to have it done. Ace cries. Fans turn on him, call him a crybaby. Season 1, Ace goes on this big redemption of him and Jack falling out, still living with his mom, moves out with his mom. The valet girl wants Crystal. She wants to be a wrestler. That's why she's around Duffy wrestling. She knows how to wrestle. Jack's still in that old school mind that women don't have a place wrestling on a Duffy show. We'll put you at the top of the card, give you 5 minutes, but that's it. So a lot goes on. But she starts to win the people over because she puts on a showcase match. And, guest appearance for AJ Lee, CM Punk's wife. Guest appearance from her on it. Also, guest appearance from CM Punk on this show. She puts on a great match for AJ Lee, and things just start getting cooking. But they still see her as a valet. Even the producer backstage, who's a female, tells her girls' place in wrestling is to be a valet and pretty much be the eye candy for the hot baby face. That's what you are. Women like the baby face, guys like the eye candy, the valet manager, and that's it. That's old school style wrestling. That's where her mindset is at. As it keeps continuing, it keeps growing. Jack and Ace bickering every episode. Jack selling lawnmowers in the daytime. Jack's wife and marriage is starting to fail because he's putting time more into DWE, Duffy Wrestling, more than he is anything else. Duffy Wrestling Entertainment, putting more into that. Jack selling lawnmowers first episode, the first thing Jack tells somebody selling lawnmower is, it's nothing like riding on a riding lawnmower, cracking over the ice cold beer and cutting your grass. And when they show his house, because he spent more time getting this wrestling promotion, trying to keep it afloat. And they're going through hard times, financially, everything. So, it's a strain on their family, finance-wise, everything, to keep this promotion going. Everything's going great. They show the Jack's grass so high that his wife gets out there, finally cracks over the beer and starts cutting grass. That was kind of play to what he said when he was selling lawnmowers. But so much is going on with W. You got so many guys trying to make it. So we roll over into season 1. And season 1 at the end, Cowboy Bill comes back. He's a big old-time wrestler from that area. He started at the Duffy Entertainment, went on to, they didn't use the word WWE or AEW or Ring of Honor, but they say he went on to wrestle for a big promotion. So you're not going to be any of the three. They just didn't have the rights to use the name. So you had that. And as the story continues, they're in the main event at the fairground. Jack he's put all his money into this main event. It's Jack, Ace, and Cowboy Bill. Fairgrounds, they promote this thing because Bill has enough power still down there in Duffy to get them on the fairgrounds. And they knew if they could make cash that night, that could save Duffy Wrestling and also save a lot of things, get some people paid that he had been able to pay. A lot of things go on. The climax of the match of season 1, before we get to season 2, was Bill, great match. And I told everybody, this show at the time, I kind of wasn't watching AEW as much as I am now. And WWE kind of was just like, blah, blah, blah. And I remember you go back on my X timeline, Twitter timeline, I said, heel storylines are better than WWE right now. And everything is great. Bill in this match has a freak accident, used the bathroom on himself, can't get up, embarrassed to get up because he knows people see it. They're going to boo, they're going to laugh him out, and he's trying to save face. Jack hurts Ace. Ace and Jack get hurt. They go into business for themselves. Nothing left to do. They're telling Bill, climb the ladder. Bill said, I can't climb. I'm not getting up like this. No, I'm going to wait until everything is over. Everybody clears out. So Crystal climbs the ladder and becomes the Duffy heavyweight champion. She goes in business for herself, climbs the ladder. Crowd goes crazy. Crowd was thinking that because going in, the pitch was Ace is going over. This is Ace night. This is Ace night. The crowd is back behind Ace. He's won them back over. He's cut some promos. It's Ace night. And the crowd just goes crazy when Crystal wins it. And now you go into season 2. Crystal's the Duffy champ. Because you got to figure out, is we going to let her stay champ? So they make Crystal the women's champ and have a tournament for the men's champ. And you start to see in season 2 that Ace gets a little jealous. Because even through his jealousy, he cannot control himself. And this is why Jack didn't want to make him a champion. Jack knew that his temper would get to him. So season 2 goes on, and then right at the end of season 2, they leave you with a cliffhanger. Not going to spoil. I already spoiled season 1, but I'm telling you, go back and watch it because I didn't tell everything to lead up to the Fairgrounds match and with Crystal winning the Duffy title going into season 2. So that was for season 2 cliffhanger. That was season 1, season 2 the cliffhanger. But when I found out Netflix had got Heels, and I'm telling you, Heels is so good that I probably will go back and watch season 1, season 2 all over again. That's how good that show was. I mean, if you're a fan of wrestling, if you're just a fan of great storytelling, great content, great just storytelling of every episode leads up, Heels is the show for you. I highly recommend it. Season 3, fingers are crossed, toes are crossed. Hey, everything is crossed, fingers, toes, you name it. My action figures back there, I'm gonna cross them up because I definitely want a season 3 because I feel like this is a show that could have went on 5 to 7 seasons strongly because you had a young cast, you had a great storyline, and you had people in it. And I mean, especially in season 2, when the rooster leaves, and I'm gonna spoil that he leaves Duffy to go somewhere else. It has a lot of intertwining, just great storytelling. You can tell the people that produced this show definitely had a foot in the professional wrestling business to be able to tell the story with great storytelling in the ring, great movie telling of the story of the hero's journey, every character going on a journey, all of that composed together. Great show. So definitely go check out Heels season 1, season 2 on Netflix. I'm gonna go watch it again. So we probably be talking about Heels all throughout this season until we find out if season 3 comes. Stephen Amell is busy right now. He's got a main role on Suits on the USA Network. But he quoted when he had comments for Heels getting picked up by Netflix to air season 1, season 2. Would he do a season 3? He said most definitely. Because when we found out he got cut, I was one of the people who tweeted Epics, the best show you guys had. You just dropped the ball and cut it into witching hours. Shame on you, Epics. We were so in locked and entwined with Heels. Shame on you. Go watch if you haven't watched it. So that was Heels right there, season 1, season 2. As I stated, go watch it. Now we said Bel-Air wrapped up 5 days ago. They wrapped it up season 3, episode 10. One was great. The story of Will overcoming, going to the prep school, pretty much adapting to the Bel-Air style life, and also trying to keep the West Philly vibes that he had from West Philly. Season 2, the Carlton story and the Will story. Will finds out, it just gives up, comes back, get things back straight. He's on a path, refinds a love for basketball, gets on a team where a coach has a problem with gambling, owes some debt, owes some stuff for playing guys to go to college. Uncle Phil figures all that out with the Zoom basketball stuff. Carlton, you see him go back down that path. Season 1, we saw him that he was a drug addict. Season 2, his addictions for drugs just goes off the wall. It goes ballistic. Hillary, season 1, her and Jazz kind of start connecting. Season 2, they really connect. Season 2, by the end, they're drifting apart. Hillary's kind of falling back for her high school sweetheart, who it happens to be a famous NFL player, LaMarcus. All of that, Banks family's going well. Ashley's kind of finding her way, season 1 and 2, with her own things, kind of discovering who she is in today's world. Jeffrey, we learned a lot about Jeffrey that we didn't know. Season 3, we learned so much about Jeffrey. Season 2, you start to find out that Jeffrey's not only the butler and the fixer and the private investigator for Philip Banks' law firm. The butler's just a cover role for what he does as the PI for the law firm. Jeffrey has a lot that we learn in England that happened in his past that he ran from to leave that life behind. And that's how him and Mr. Banks got connected. They became good friends through that, and he gave Jeffrey a job. Aunt Bill, season 1, kind of trying to manage Will and get her nephew on the right track. Season 2, she really comes into her own, finding herself, getting back into what made Aunt Bill happy, her artwork, doing art, doing painting. She gets put on the board of directors for an arts commission, really helping young artists find their way. So that was good. But then we get to season 3, and 1 and 2 were so good that I said, is 3 going to be the fluke? Because it's hard for a show to continue on with so much great success going into a 3rd season when 1, you knocked it out of the park. 2, they said you couldn't knock it out of the park. You found a way to tell a new story with the original story into. But the thing I like about season 3 of Bel-Air is season 3, you get the full story of the original Fresh Prince of Bel-Air sprinkled into this season. Carlton overcomes his drug addiction. I thought that was season 3 to me was all about Carlton's redemption story. And I talked about it on the episode already. So really won't dive that deep into that. But in episode 9, Amira, we're going to go from 8, 9, to 10. Amira has had a relapse. She's been relapsing a whole lot. We know in episode 7 that Will's girlfriend, I can't even think of her name right now, she finds the drugs in Amira's bag. She's struggling to tell Carlton because Carlton is in love with Amira. This is his love. This is his perfect girl. Everything about Amira just keeps Carlton going and keeps him pressing forward. Because him and Will are having hard times with this Black Success business. They're doing Black Success t-shirt business. Carlton finds out, with the back end story that Carlton finds out that he's not accepted to Princeton due to him admitting live in front of everybody at his senior speech. Well, at his junior speech, that he was a drug addict and he needed help. I thought that, I thought it was very good of Carl to do it at that time and moment because you saw him become the most vulnerable he's ever been in this show until he needed a problem. Princeton said they did not want that kind of image on a new student they're bringing in, even though his test scores, his grades, and academics are out of the water, blew it out of the water. So Carlton now goes on a journey of, I gotta go with phase 2. All my life, it's been go to Princeton. That's all I do. That's all it was instilled in me, engraved in me. Now I need phase 2. Will wants to give up basketball because he finds out that his dad, Lou, played basketball. And that was Lou's ticket out of the ghetto, out of the hood, was basketball. But Lou messed it up because he got in problems with the law. So that's how Will and Carlton started this Black Success t-shirt business. And it's so funny because see, episode 1 through 7, they, 1 minute we're working good with the business, 1 minute they're in each other's heads, and all this goes on. But when we find that Amira has started back using and have been lying to Carlton, and I can tell something was going on with Amira because at episode 6, you start to see her spin out of control, like yelling at the rehab guy with the meeting and saying that everybody's still on Carlton's no good for her and that we know your past, we know who you are. And she just spazzed out on everybody. She spazzed out on Will's girlfriend. So Will's girlfriend has a chance to tell Carlton, but she swore to Amira that she would not tell her. I know it would come to my mind. It was Lisa. Lisa swears to Amira she won't tell nobody. They flush the drugs down the toilet. Hey, we're thinking, okay, maybe Emil has not slipped. Maybe this, but Emil lied because she told them that this is a triggering time for her. Same thing she told Carlton when she came late to dinner that night to meet his family for the second time. This is a triggering time for me because I think my sister passed around this time. And we're going to get to episode 9 to lead you 10 about that. So as all this goes on, Lisa finally just breaks down because Carlton's bought Emil this nice necklace. Can't wait to give it to her. Lisa's kind of like, Carlton, do you think you're rushing? Maybe you should slow down, think things through, kind of pump the brakes, just see what happens. And Carlton is really hurt. Him and Lisa used to be a couple. Now they're no more, but they're still close friends that they can share stuff with each other about. And Carlton said, out of everybody, I thought you would be the happiest for me. Will's not happy for me. My mom and dad's not happy for me. Nobody wants this relationship to work, but I really thought you would be the one. So Lisa finally plays Lisa and cheers him up. Hey, maybe I was just thinking too much of it, having a bad day, Carlton. I'm so sorry. It's about you and Emil right now. Give him the pep talk to make him feel good. So she can't keep hold of this. And Will already got called out about Emil for not really watching Lisa and knowing when something was going on. So she finally tells Will, I found some drugs in Emil's book bag the day we came over to go swimming at the house. We flushed them down the toilet. She didn't use them, but I found them. But she told me that this was a triggering time because her sister passed around this time, and it gets hard. But she swore to me she hadn't been using, that they were just there. Will feeling bad about Carlton And Will really not even considering Carlton's personal feelings. He was considering more of, if Carlton finds this out, we got a big presentation in an hour. If he finds this out, this is going to ruin the presentation, and I'm going to lose this ticket because I'm all in. Chip's all in on this Black Success T-shirt business that we got to make. Because I gave up basketball, I quit the team. I'm done with it. And Carlton, he tells Carlton, and Carlton finds out because Will leaves his phone on the table, and Emil texts Will said, "Don't tell Carlton," or either something like that in the words of that. And Carlton said, Emil said, "Don't tell me what," because Carlton's looking for Emil because she said she was going to stop by, wish him luck, and be with him during the presentation, sit on the back row as moral support, as any girlfriend would do for their boyfriend. So Will lays it on Carlton and says, "I know this is a bad time. We got this." And Carlton says, "Will, the only thing you're about is yourself." And he says that again later on in another episode in 9. So they end up knocking the presentation out. Will just starts off by being horrible. Grandmaster Flash, he's up there rapping the message. I mean, back in the days, don't push me till I'm too close to the edge. I'm trying not to lose my head. He's up there rapping all of that, talking about being a West Philly born and raised, all this stuff. And I mean, these people look real like, who is this guy? Get him off stage. Carlton comes and saves him. And I mean, saves the day. As you move into episode 9, well, during that same episode, Emil tries to commit suicide. And it's so sad because, I really wish she could have found a way to get some help. She couldn't. And they had already said this episode was going to be one of the most intense episodes of the whole season. So she tries to drown herself in a pool. Lisa and Carlton save her. Will calls 911. Lisa was able to give her a Narcan and bring her back and pretty much help her get out. Episode 9, help her get to help. Episode 9, we roll in. Hillary's still debating in episode 8 because Hillary's already asked LaMarcus, asked Hillary to marry him. Hillary, people forgot she kissed Jazz, and her and Jazz still have something going on that they just got to cut off. So roll over to episode 9. LaMarcus tells Hillary, "I don't want to wait a year. Let's go to Martha's Vineyard. Let's get married in a week. Just family, close friends, relatives. Leave it like that. You've been with me from my injury in the NFL. You've been with me since day one." Hillary starts to feel bad, but this is the episode where things start to get told leading up to 10. So in 9, the Banks had already been out on a vacation with LaMarcus' parents and mom. Met 2 of their friends from college down there at it was either San Juan or Puerto Rico somewhere. Did all of that. Had a great time. They may not be on a vacation yet, but somewhere. And Philip tells both of them when they're down on vacation that him and Viv had a rough spot because one of his attorneys that he's a partner with, that him and Viv had some backlaw with back in college, accidentally kissed him because it was just a good moment for the firm, and she just kissed him on accident. And it was nothing less, nothing more. Philip wants to take it to the grave. He's I'm not telling my wife Vivian nothing. I'm taking this to the grave. The other person knows what had happened. Every time Vivian gets around her, she runs out of the room or runs to another table. So Vivian, that women that spider sense, that 7th sense, that intuition kicks in. Something's going on that I don't know about. Finally, she comes clean and tells Vivian. So in episode 9, Vivian's didn't know that Philip had told the guys they have a little guy talk about this. So the guy brings up, they're telling LaMarcus and Hillary, with marriage, it's the ring, it's surrendering, and some others, just giving them advice. As long as you don't be like Philip and kiss another woman. Hillary didn't know about that. And it all leads up to now episode 10. Because during that, Hillary realizes that her and Jazz need to have one night together, just friends, even though they're not a couple no more and not a relationship with guy feelings, they still good friends. So her and Jazz go and have this one night. They play Twister, they watch movies, hang out, get some takeout. I mean, just do everything that friends would do because she knows that deep down, she still loves Jazz, not only as a person that she was in a relationship with, but as a person that is still a genuine friend to her. Because she generally always cares about Jazz's well-being. And I tell you, I like the way they did Jazz on this version of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air versus the original Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, where Jazz was more comic relief, where this time Jazz is taken more seriously, successful business owner, entrepreneur, all this stuff. Well, the key going into season 10, episode 10 of season 3 was Harry can't find the ring. I knew as soon as the episode ended when she's looking for the ring, I said, here we go. Now, I did like that Bel-Air paid homage, in the famous words of Michael Cole, to another successful show back in the 80s and 90s, A Different World, where a group of kids from Hillman College had a great time at Hillman College. And Dwayne Wayne ended up marrying Whitley Gilbert, and the name of the episode was Save the Best for Last. So when I saw that was episode 10 last week, I said, uh-oh, I already know what's going to happen. Hillary lost the ring. Jazz got the ring. And we're going to get Different World 2024 version right here where Jazz stops the wedding, proposes to Hillary, and Hillary marries Jazz. Well, guess what, people? I was so wrong, so wrong, so wrong. Great episode. So many cliffhangers leading up to season 4 that I was just shocked. Jazz found out Jazz has the ring. Jazz plays with Hillary. It plays with Will. Tell her I could pawn this ring, get out of my financial binds. Even though Jazz is out of his financial binds because he got offered, he won some money when Will and Carlton street race, won $30,000 to pay off his taxes. So he plays with him. So Will and them fly Jazz to Martha's Vineyard in Massachusetts to bring the ring. Jazz gets there, meets Will. He got the ring. He said, all I ask is for one favor. Can I talk to her and see her just one more time while she's Hillary Banks? And not Hillary, whatever her new name will be. Will said, we can't make that happen. He said, come on, Prince. You got to make it happen, Will. You can do it. Will says that with Hillary. They go in there, they talk, have a great conversation. And Hillary tells Jazz, just thank you for being a friend, Regardless of this, thank you for, I know it didn't work out with us, but thank you so much. Jazz tells her she looks beautiful. This is going to be a beautiful day for you. Congratulations. Best of luck. I'm out. Jazz and Will, everything's going good. Smooth. We're like, okay, we're smooth. Jazz and Will walk out of Hillary's room when she's getting dressed for the wedding. Who walks out the other room when they're coming out? Lil Marcus. And he asks Jazz, what are you doing here? Hillary finally has been stalling on telling the truth. She's been wanting to do it since episode 2, but she's been stalling. Finally, she tells him the whole truth, that her and Jazz hung out before they got married. Nothing happened. Just two friends hanging out, having a good night being friends. Nothing more, nothing less. And I left the ring at his house, and that's it. She also comes clean with kissing Jazz, and me and Jazz kiss, but it's nothing less, nothing more. LaMarcus goes off. He goes off. He leaves, storms out, wedding's off. That's old man, wedding's off. I'm like, here we go. Jazz is going to do it. He's going to save the day. Here we go. Different world all over again. Jazz is going to do it. What happens? Will and Ashley end up going to talk to LaMarcus. They go find him. And they both tell him, we were Team Jazz. Hey, Ashley, she loved Jazz. Really liked him. Will say, hey, man, me and Jazz, we just clicked, man. But when we found out that our sister and my cousin wanted to marry you, we're all in with you. Hey, we were the biggest Jazz fans out here. We're turning our card in on Jazz. We're going to do it. Hillary has a moment, her and LaMarcus talk, tells LaMarcus, beat me at the altar. Same thing he done her in episode 8 when his son Jack is beat me at the altar. She sings to him. She says, let's go get married. Fast forward, and you can tell something's going on because I look at Jeffrey, and he tells Mr. Banks when they're getting dressed, I thank you for allowing me to watch you and your family over the years. I said, something's getting ready to happen with Jeffrey. You got to start looking for those clues. I saw that. Then you see they end up getting married, and we get to the end. Martha's Vineyard, the Banks family flies back home. Jeffrey doesn't fly with them. Phil goes in the office and found that Jeffrey had flew back a day earlier, left him a letter stating that right now things from his past have caught up with him, his baby mama, who was going to be his wife, that he had to leave because it was, blowing up in England, and his son, who had just gotten beat up by two local guys about was back in with Jeffrey. His baby mama pretty much was told that you bring Jeffrey to us or you and your son will be killed. She knew what she got to do. Jeffrey, so smart, catches on what's going on with the car, with that car problem. And that car was shown throughout the entire season, but you did not notice it because with Bel-Air, they show those scenes where the cars just flying by in the back scene. You pay it no mind. So the whole season, they have been watching Jeffrey's son, Jeffrey's baby mama, the Banks family, everybody. Jeffrey says, I just didn't want to drag your family into this mess. I got to go. We'll reconnect. Phil, thank you for everything. She's gone. Will goes looking for G because he was like, man, no, this can't be. This can't be. G was like, Jeffrey's like, my man, somebody I could talk to. Carlton gets accepted to Princeton. They want to give him a second chance, so he's on cloud nine. Black success has worked, and he even patches it out with Drew because when Will made a deal with some company, he didn't know that was Drew's dad company he made a deal with, and that Carlton and Drew still had beef. You remember in season 2, Carlton beat the fool out of Drew. So all that happened, so Carlton says, hey, if I sit back and look what you was able to do, Will, with you and Lou, how y'all made amends, you and your dad. I can make amends with Drew and I can make it work. And also, Carlton got some good advice from his dad saying, don't stop your business because you and this person can't get along. Don't run from it. Find a way to make it work. So we get to the end. LaMarcus and Hillary on their honeymoon. Will's looking for G. Carlton's going to Princeton. Find out that Aunt Viv is pregnant. This is why I said they started tying in the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air to Bel-Air. Because you remember at about season 4 or 5, Aunt Viv gets pregnant. That's how we get Nicholas on Fresh Prince. So we found out, she said when it was at Martha's Vineyard that she was seasick for riding on the boat. I'm like, uh-oh, here we go. Nicholas, time for you to come appear on Bel-Air next season. That's what we got on Fresh Prince. So I filled it out. We see that she's pregnant. So I said, well, that's a check mark for the original show. We go back to the honeymoon. They're having a great time. They get ready to go out sightseeing. Hillary's ready to go. LaMarcus said, can I just have me one more Cosmo wine right now and then I'll be ready? She said, I'll go make it for you. She goes in the kitchen area to make it for him. She comes back. He's passed out again. Now, remember, he had a heart attack during football practice, and they were able to save him. This time, she's called 911, asking for help, and it fades out on that scene. It goes back to Bel-Air. I don't think LaMarcus makes it to season 4. I think this is it. And once again, paying homage to the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Remember, Hillary and Trevor got married, and Trevor went on a skiing expedition and said, Hillary, I love you. And then he died right there on national TV. He was a TV anchor, died on national TV. So they paid homage to Fresh Prince. And I think LaMarcus doesn't make it. I think he's go. He's out of here. Which will now open up Hillary and Jazz in season 4. Will Hillary, as a widow now, be able to cope with moving back home with the Banks like Hillary had to do in the show? When Trevor died, she moved back home with the family to get herself back in line and back on track. So then we go back to where Will goes to G's apartment. He sees a movie guy just taking everything out. He said, hey, what's going on? He said, we got a note today that this part will be vacated to come in and just donate everything to charity. Will can't believe it. He was like, G would not leave without telling me what's going on. He's shocked. He gets out and starts walking down the street. That G-Wagon, that silver G-Wagon, we've been seeing all season, silver G-Wagon that beat up, the two guys jumped out and beat up Frederick in the back alley, is following Will. And I was like, man, please do not let them kidnap Will. Have them follow Will until they phase the black at the end and go into season 4 and say, uh-oh, they know the Banks' moves now. They know who the Will is. They know who Carlton is. They know this stuff. What do? They pull up behind Will and they kidnap him, and we fade to black. Excellent, excellent, excellent season 3 of Bel-Air. wait for season 10 to connect back to the original show. We're now getting ready to introduce Nicholas in season 4. Will being kidnapped. So now we know that Jeffrey's going to probably come back because Phil's going to probably try to track Jeffrey down and say, hey, they got Will, because remember, Jeffrey gave them a lump sum of money. And it was so cool to have the original Jeffrey play the liaison between the mafia and Jeffrey at that point where Jeffrey gives him a lump sum of money, says, this should pay off all the debts, pay off anything I owe, anything they think with all the people I killed, all the stuff I done in the streets, this should wipe me clean. They didn't want the money. So now, he'll come back and help Philip and them find Will, because Will is kidnapped. Can't wait to see how Carlton goes with Princeton. Carlton does also have a good moment with Amira. She found out that her using comes from tragedy, because she tells Amira's mom, I'm so sorry. I know this is a rough week for y'all. Emil told me about this week. She said, what are you talking about, Carlton? Emil told me about your daughter, which was her sister passing. And she goes on to tell Carlton that Emil suffered from a bad car injury, traumatic trauma to her brain from the incident. That's how she got using drugs, because she got addicted to painkillers and graduated to another form of drugs. So she tells that, and so that goes, they have a great moment. Emil's going out. She spends time with Lisa, Will, and Carlton before she gets in the car, drives off. She's going to a rehab to help her with traumatic versus a regular rehab. She's going to a traumatic rehab. And she said, Carlton, and when I be back, I'll be waiting for you. Same thing. So then it goes all that. Will's kidnapping, it pretty much fades off. Great season. Can't wait for season 4. I hate I got to wait all the way to next summer before season 4. But that's what they do with Bel-Air. They make you wait an entire calendar year before season 4 is given to you in the summer. And just maybe we'll keep our fingers crossed. We'll get season 4 a little bit earlier. Maybe we'll get it in May when everybody's out of school, home. Because, I think Bel-Air is more of a show that a lot of high schoolers and college people watch. A lot of that 20 to 40 bracket watches. So maybe we'll get it early this year and not get it so late like we did this season. So we're getting ready to jump into Tulsa King right here on It Stinks. Now we're into part 2 of It Stinks right here. We just talked about Heels coming back to Netflix. Bel-Air wrapping up their season on Peacock. Now let's jump over to Paramount Plus. Let's talk about Tulsa King. Part 2 of It Stinks right here on the Boom Broadcasting. I told you, we're getting into that fall season. As we get into that fall season, shows can be short, shows can be long. So much TV we're going to try to cover on this one episode versus doing 4 or 5 episodes a week that we're going to be talking about it. Tulsa King Season 2, Episode 1. If you remember last season, Dwight goes to jail. The lady that he's been involved with throughout the whole season, she is a cop. She rats Dwight out. She's pretty much put to the test of it's either your job or you lose it all. Keep your job, rat out Dwight, tell what's going on, tell his whereabouts, what he's been doing, or lose everything. Of course, in the world we live in today, she needs a job. So she does the one thing nobody saw coming in the last episode. She betrays Dwight, and I was shocked when Dwight walks out of hand because he had just made amends with his daughter, showed her that he was cleaning things up. He could be a better father, a better grandfather, and then this happens. So we open up with Dwight. He's going to jail. He's being booked. He's being Dwight. He's being funny, man. I'm telling you. He's just being Dwight, gets to jail, get put in a holding cell. There's loudmouth in there. And this guy has pretty much been beating up on everybody in the cell. He sees that, they're weaker fish. So as a stronger predator, you take advantage of the weak to show your supremacy over everybody in the jail. That's what he did. And if you ever been to prison, which I never have, but I've watched a bunch of movies where people have been locked up, that's mainly what the tough guy does. Dwight tells this guy, Harlan, who he meets, that the quiet ones you always got to watch. So this guy's kind of looking at Dwight, eyeing Dwight, all this stuff. He's trying to show that he has control over this holding cell. He's beating everybody up. Dwight doesn't say nothing. Dwight makes a little sly comment, fix your mouth, something like that. Guy walks away, tells Dwight, quit eyeballing me. Dwight's telling Harlan how would he make it in jail. Because Harlan asks these type of questions. Have you been to jail? Dwight gets up, walks up, and just knocks the guy dead in his eye, put him to sleep. He's out for the 10 count, real start the count, he's done. And that's when Dwight learns from Harlem that Harlem is going to jail for a white collar crime. He embezzled from the government in this wind energy thing where he took all this government money and made himself rich off of it, embezzled this wind energy stuff. And as soon as he said that, and he told Dwight, when I get out, look me up. Maybe we can get together and work on some businesses. And Dwight, as always, being Dwight, says, you don't have to worry about when you're getting out for me to look you up. I know where you're going. I'll be able to look you up sooner than that. So I already see that Harlem's going to be in jail. Dwight's going to probably get his guys that's in jail in the Tulsa area to look after Harlem because he told Harlem, you're going to have to find somebody to help, watch your back while you're locked up. And Harlem's going to become a key player in helping Dwight now move into this wind energy phase of taking over Tulsa. So they just spread the seeds right there. So I don't think this will be the last we see of Harlem in Tulsa King season 2. Dwight makes bail. His daughter bails him out. Gets out. It's back to work, back to business. That's what we see. The guys had already kind of started setting up a line of contingency, a line of succession. Chi-Chi said, Goody, not Chi-Chi. Goody says, while Dwight's locked up, I'm running everything. This is how a crime family works. I'm the only one Italian, which he is Italian because Armando said, well, I'm the Italian one. I should be calling the shots till Dwight comes back. I'm the only one with Italian mafia blood in my body. But Goody says, I know how the families run. I'm taking over. Puts the next man in charge as the underboss. Sets everybody up and gives their assignment. Say, hey, if Dwight was here, what will we do? Make money. Why are we stopping? Dwight wants us to continue on making money. So the guys pretty much have a good plan and get going with it. Dwight gets out, gets back with his crew, tells them how everything went, told them that his daughter bailed him out, has a good long pep talk with him. And Dwight tells these guys, let's go different. We taking over the weed marijuana game in Tulsa, Oklahoma. We taking over it. I met this guy who told me he funded and defrauded the government out of all this wind energy money. If we can start getting into the politicians' pockets, all these people that are corrupt, get our hands on that, be the first ones to get ahead of this stuff, we can sit back and make a killing. And so the guy looked like, are we going to go clean? He said, no, we're going to use this now to even grow more marijuana because we're going to control the energy. I'm telling you, that's what I like about this show so much. It's like watching Scarface, The Godfathers, all combined in one with Dwight just being this mastermind and taking these average Joes who don't know nothing about crime, know nothing about blue collar crime, white collar crime, mafia crime, racketeering, street hustling, none of that stuff, and just making these guys getting the best, kind of like getting the best out of what you was dealing with. So they go in that way right there. Dwight explains that to him, and Dwight tells them there's a high-scale party. So I want you guys to look nice. If we're going to get into this field of it, we got to look the look, walk the walk, talk the talk. We can't keep showing up. And I always enjoy the comedy relief you get with Dwight and the driver. Dwight goes, meets the FBI lady with the police officer that turned him in. He's already in her house. She thinks Dwight's going to kill him. Dwight said, no, I'm not here to kill you, but I want to look you in your eye to let you know you were just a pawn. A pawn. They used you to get to me. That's all you were. It was just a stepping stone. Now you're back still doing the same thing you're doing. You didn't get elevated. You didn't get a promotion. You're back the square root of one. I'm out on bail. Now I even got more knowledge, and you were just a pawn. So he throws that back at her. Now things start to crank up because now it's time to go to the party. That's a good scene where the guys went shopping. And I got the new guy they just brought in from Kentucky, Bullhead, something like that. I forgot his name just that quick. You can already tell he's gonna probably be one of those guys in the crew that's gonna be the most dangerous one, but the most funniest one when him and Dwight are together. So Dwight gives him a job. Kind of like, they pay a little homage to Scarface without using it with Tony Ass's I can't think his name on Scarface. I watched it so many times. when he asks, hey, Ernie, do you want a job? And Ernie says, sure, Tony. Dwight says, hey, what can you do? He says, I'm a psychologist. And Dwight says, a psychologist, what do you study psychology in? He said, I study my opponent I'm going to beat up and learn why I'm beating them up before I beat them up. So you see, you're going to have that comedy relief with that right there in the show. Guys gonna have a great scene getting ready for this party. I just thought it was, Tulsa King at his finest. Guys having fun, trying on these suits. They're just laughing at like everything that with Tulsa King. Everything these guys put on was just gonna be a style of the way they think. So the driver very flashy. The cowboy Armando and them in the cowboy suits, all this stuff. So it was a good scene right there. We get to the party. Dwight's already there. The guys just kind of hanging out, not ready to go in. Wait on Armand. Armand shows up, hits the back of somebody's car. I was like, okay, what's going on? Something's not right. Gets to the party. We find out that Armand is his mind is not there. And it's not there because he's dealing with a divorce. He's dealing with back child support. He's dealing with daddy owes to Dwight. All this stuff is piled up on. And Dwight goes ahead and does what Dwight does best. Go home. Take the night off. We'll get back together. Your mind's not here. This is a very important night for me and my guys to establish ourselves. We don't need no slip-ups, no backtracking. Go home. So Dwight sends him home. And I know both of them two are going to have a heated moment sooner or later. Probably next episode about Dwight sending him home. So then we get to the main part of this episode. It all led up to where we're going. As we know, last season, Kyle kind of was learning about Dwight. Found out that Dwight was infringing in his territory. Kyle and Dwight finally have that confrontation we've been waiting to see. And it happened in episode 1. And they did good with setting up the whole season now that we know it's going to be Kyle versus Dwight. Dwight's already taken out the bikers. He's taken out all the local gangs. So now he's infringing on he already took out the middle guys. Now he's getting ready to start taking out the upper level guys. And Kyle's one of the upper level guys. So you see they already set the season up is going to be Dwight versus Kyle. They have a good meet. Kyle kind of lets Dwight know, I heard a lot about you. I know a lot about you. Dwight kind of explains to him that, we're here to do this. Kyle kind of lets Dwight know, I've seen your kind. They come down here all the time. They come from up north. They think they can come to this little country area, just expand and take over. But at the end of the day, this is my territory. And he does what any other boss would do, calls the shots. So you get that right there. Dwight kind of leaves out. He's done with the party. Mood is killed. Now, and when Dwight leaves is because he's thinking, I'm getting ready to go back to the drawing board because now we're going to figure out how we're going to expand the operation at a faster rate than what we're doing. So we're going to get ready to go on a more expedient process of expansion. Now it gets to the other part of what you're getting ready to see as the season goes on. Goody gets a call from Jerry. And when I seen Goody phone light up in the casino, because Goody stayed back to run the casino. I see Goody's phone light up in the casino. I see Jerry. I said, why would Jerry be calling Goody? Even though they're still okay. But a lot of guys in New York cut Goody off because when they flew down to Tulsa to confront Dwight, Goody sided with Dwight. So I said, what's going on with this? This is right. I started thinking maybe Jerry is going to fly down to Tulsa and get on Dwight's side and join with Dwight. Well, we found out that Chi-Chi has beaten up Jerry, has Jerry phone, has Jerry on his knees begging for his life. And Chi-Chi tells Goody, besides you being unloyal, somebody wants to speak to you. That's when we find out it's Jerry. And then Chi-Chi shoots Jerry dead in the head. And as you know, Chi-Chi killed the mafia boss. He killed him to get to the top. A lot of people don't like Chi-Chi's antics, the way how he got to the top. Him and Dwight have been bickering since season 1. The mafia boss, who was loyal to Dwight because Dwight did the time and never ratted nobody out in the family. He did exactly what he's supposed to do. Went to jail, took an oath of silence, and never ratted anybody out. You had that. So now you got Jerry dead, and Chi-Chi, he's still upset with him and Dwight. There's still some animosity there. Dwight now is pretty much getting his plan together. But right at the end, before the credits get rolled up, you see Kyle make a phone call to another business owner who's a cowboy. He's on the ranch. And he told him, have you heard about this Dwight guy? He said, no. He said, you should pick up the Tulsa Star and read it right now. So once again, that's going to be another one of those players who's going to be another stumbling block for Dwight as we build on. Tulsa King, Season 2, Episode 1. Great. Quick synopsis of it. Go back and watch it. Very good episode right there, Tulsa King. Really enjoyed it. And now I'm sitting here waiting on Episode 2. So how fast can Episode 2 drop? I'm on the countdown. Now, before we get ready to get out of here, we got to get over to the Big Brother's house. We are definitely getting down to the final of the finals of Big Brother. Zingbot is right around the corner. So much is going on. We had 9. Now we're down to 8 players left. From 16 to 8. We're down to 8. And somebody went home. And he wasn't backdoored because he wasn't a target. He was a replacement. And I always hate that about the replacements when you start getting down to the final 9, 8, 7, and the numbers keep dwindling. When you become a replacement and you don't get to play in the veto game because the person who won the power of veto either saved themselves on the block or took somebody off the block, and now you're the person to get to go up, you only really got a day to convince the house to keep you. Not unless you got a strong alliance with the numbers. That's what happened to Quinn. Angela was on the block. She was saved by Mackenzie. Quinn was the replacement nominee on the spot. He couldn't play a veto game because that's done with. He only had a day to save himself. And going in, I really thought Chemo would be going home. I said, Quinn will be able to pull it off because people like Quinn. He's been, he's always been literally the one who's getting ready to go home, but y'all feel like Quinn could hang around. Quinn goes home 4-2. Chemo survives another week on the block. 3 weeks now, Chemo has survived. So now we get to the HOH competition on Sunday evening. Leah has not won nothing. She's been crying every time she loses. She finally gets one. She won a HOH. Golf clap. Golf clap. Golf clap one more time. Golf clap for Leah for finally getting one. She's really been wanting to get one. And I think it was more of she's getting down to the final 8. I haven't won a HOH. I don't want to be evicted without winning a HOH or a veto. At least say I did win one. She's got one. Who does she put on the block? Rabina and Kivo. There's no AI arena. There's nothing. Live feeds have been wonky this week. Have been able to really watch them like you want to watch them. They're up, they're down, up, down. But she puts Rabina and Chemo on the block. Can Chemo survive one more week on the block? Right now, watching it stink on a Thursday morning with the live eviction tonight. I'm going to go ahead and call it. Chemo goes home tonight. This is it. Rabina finds a way. You're down to Chelsea, Cam, Angela, Rabina, Chemo, Mackenzie, Leah, and T-Core. That's the 8. Chemo will carry the T-Core vote. Rabina can't vote because she's on the block. So he'll carry. T-Core's going to have a hard decision. Let me change that. I don't know if she's going to vote for Chemo or Rabina. Both of them are her closest ally. Now with Queen gone. Angela's probably going to side with Rabina because I feel like she feels closer to Rabina because her and Rabina had the little, when Rabina taught her how to twerk, and Rabina's kind of been making Angela feel young and teach her all this young stuff that young people do, how to do social media, how to be an influencer, how to build a real estate company when she gets out of the house. So Angela probably will side and vote for Rabina to stay and vote for Chemo. T-Core, we don't know. She'll be a toss-up. Chelsea will vote for Rabina to stay, so there'll be another vote for Chemo to go home. Cam is going to go whichever way Chelsea goes. If she votes Chemo to go home, Cam kind of been talking to Rabina. Another vote for Chemo. So right there, that's the votes. It's a done deal. Mackenzie, she's probably going to vote for Chemo. So I don't think Chemo survives tonight. I think by 10:01 Eastern time, Chemo Baz will be walking out the door, sitting there talking to Julie John Muvez, and telling about his friend's big brother. He does not survive tonight. There's no way he can pull this off. If he pulls this off and flips the house to vote for Rabina, this will probably be the biggest upset in Big Brother history that I've seen in a long time. And this season, we have seen a lot of wacky stuff. We've seen Tucker and McKenzie save people. We've seen Tucker save somebody when he was on the block versus saving himself. Wacky season, but this will probably be the biggest upset of somebody being able to flip the house to save their game for one more week. This is Shawn. It stinks. I'm signing off. Hope you enjoyed your Heels talk. Definitely go watch that. Hope you enjoyed your Bel-Air breakdown as the season has ended. Hope you enjoyed season 2, episode 1 of Tulsa King. Hope you've been enjoying all 59 days in the Big Brother house right here with me. And also, September 22nd, it comes back. From comes back. So we probably be spending the next week episode of It Stinks doing Big Brother, From, and Tulsa King episode 2. This is Shawn, and I'm out.